everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. My name is Amy, and I am here with my friends and colleagues from Crew, and we have a really exciting webinar planned for you today. So I just want to give you a little background information, and then I'm going to introduce them, and then they are going to take this away. So I'm hoping some of you guys here are educators today, because when I saw what they do as an educator, I thought about how many different applications we have for this in education, where we don't generally in our school districts have access to somebody who is like a programmer, a coding expert, and yet we have all of these tasks that we have to do that really would be better with automation. So I asked them to work with us on this webinar and to help educators learn about these tools that are available now through Google, because I really thought that our audience would care about this and that it could really save some people time and energy. So this is our first opportunity to get this information out here. You were really the first to know in the education field about what this is all about. So, I mean, I'm excited for you. Hopefully you're excited too. If you haven't already, go ahead and pull up the chat. There should be a toolbar somewhere on your screen. Now, sometimes it's at the bottom, sometimes it's at the top. I don't know where it is for you, but look for a toolbar. It's kind of gray-black, and there should be a button on there that says chat, and you should be able to click on that and see the chat. Awesome, I see Jess just popped in there. So make sure you pull that up and go ahead and try it out. Make sure that when you're posting, the blue bubble says to everyone, so that we will see your chat message. Thank you very much, Misty. I love some vintage typewriters. We have so many in this, this Fried Technology house where we are right now. Hey, Chelsea, thank you very much. All right, great. Let's go ahead and get started. If anybody needs anything, then you know how to reach us right there in that chat. And we have plenty of people here to help you today. All right, I want to start introducing my colleagues who are here with us today, and I'll start with DeAnna. So DeAnna, you and I have known each other for a long time, and we were both in education when we met, and now we're both kind of like education adjacent, but here we are back together again. So it's great to see you. Tell everybody what you do for Crew.
You too, Amy. I am the director of training operations for Crew, so I design all of our trainings that are presented through the different, methods. So on demand, face-to-face, as well as a boot camp kind of vibe. So yeah, I help build these slides and pretend to know things every now and then. So I'm super excited to see this world of app development merge with some education today.
Yeah, me too. So excited about that. So the founder of Crew could not be with us today. His name is Stefan, and he is quite a guy. I've really grown to like him so much as I've gotten to know him. He is the technical kind of mastermind behind this company, and he is working on a very high profile, impressive sounding project right now. So he's literally helping an entire country. So we're going to kind of let him off the hook for not being here today. But thankfully, we've got Austin Skidmore with us, and he is also a former K-12 educator. Austin, what do you do for Crew now?
Right now, I am the director of marketing. So I just handle like all of our analytics and then creating content for our YouTube channel and social media accounts, and building a content strategy for that.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Well, what a transition for you from a special ed teacher to the job you're doing now. Like education really does just prepare you for everything, doesn't it?
It does. Yes.
Yeah, I think it's a good point. And their colleague Cameron is here also to help you in the chat. And my colleague Jess is here. There's Cameron. Hey, Cameron, how are you doing?
I'm doing very good. Excited for this.
Good to see you again. Do you want to tell everybody what you do for Crew?
Yeah, I've been working with Crew Technologies for 3 years as a app developer, consultant, and trainer in AppSheetTraining.com. So yeah.
Awesome. You have a lot of knowledge to offer in that chat. So if you guys have questions, hit Cameron up. And then my colleague Jess is down there too. Hey, Jess, how are you?
I'm doing very well, guys. I'll be in the chat answering questions and just here to support any way I can for you guys.
Thanks for being here, all of you guys. All right. Well, I hope people are excited to kind of understand what we're talking about today and how automation could
Hi,
perhaps help
Hi,
you.
I'm Yuri.
So Deanna, should I show this video? Should I let it play?
Yeah, I'm going to kick us off real quick, Amy, if you don't
Go
mind.
ahead, please do.
But as we were developing these apps in prep for today and also just exploring what AppSheet could do, AppSheet actually came out with this video for education, which is just incredible timing. So we wanted to kick this off with just a video from one of the head guys of AppSheet to just show you what they are doing and then build on it. So here you go.
Great, great. I'll play this in just a second, but I want to say this one more time. And wow, we've got people from all over the world here. This is super cool. Thank you guys so much for joining. So AppSheet used to be a separate product, not related to Google. And now AppSheet is actually owned by Google. Do I have that right, Deanna?
Yes.
Okay. All right, great. Let's watch the video and see what we can learn.
Hi, I'm Yuri, and I want to show you how you can use no-code apps and automations to run your school efficiently and effectively. When people think of how technology is used in education, they often think of how it's used in the classroom. But in reality, there's a lot more that goes into managing any educational institution. For example, you have to manage a lot of inventory, from desks and chairs to post-it notes and paper clips. You have to run frequent inspections for things like equipment, sanitation, and buildings. And you have to coordinate classes and schedules for hundreds of faculty. Mishaps with any of these processes have the potential of affecting budgets, faculty time, and the student experience. But all too often we manage these tasks in unreliable ways, with pen and paper, massive spreadsheets, or outdated software. So how can you leverage technology to do this better? That's where AppSheet comes in. AppSheet is Google Cloud's no-code platform that makes it easy for anyone to build their own custom apps and automations without having to write a line of code. Any educational institution needs a lot of software, but instead of purchasing disparate, disconnected solutions for each problem, you can use a unified platform. Plus, AppSheet integrates closely with Google Workspace, letting you update data in Sheets, save files to Drive, create calendar events, and open up Meet all from your app. Let's have a look at what this might look like. Say you work at the front office of a school and need a better way to check in and track school visitors. To start using AppSheet, you can start from scratch with an app template or directly from your data source. In this case, we have a Google Sheet with a few rows of data that we'd like to create an app for. We can go to Tools, AppSheet, Create an App, and AppSheet will create our app. Here, AppSheet is reading our table and using machine learning to determine what type of data is in each column and what views we may want to see. Now we've landed in the AppSheet editor, and we can see that AppSheet has created a basic prototype of our app here on the right. From here, we customize our app the way we want, such as connecting to additional data, creating new views, incorporating features like barcode scanning, annotations, and offline mode, and creating automations such as email reports and notifications. Let's jump ahead and see what our visitor check-in app may look like after we customize it. So here's our app. First, we can easily add visitors by either selecting them from a list or adding a new one. Then we specify the reason for visit, the scheduled arrival time, and the host. When they arrive, we check them in, and an email and text is automatically sent to the host notifying them that their guest is here. If we need to contact anyone who is currently here, we can find them in the Currently Here view, from which we can easily send an email, phone call, or text message. Finally, we've built a visit history view, where we can see a log of everyone who has visited in the past. This simple app can make a huge difference in improving school security and creating a more seamless experience for front office staff and guests alike. And that's the real value of AppSheet. Without writing any code, we can have a fully functional app that will save faculty time and help our educational institution become even more successful. So, whether it's visitor check-ins or repair orders, menu coordination or vacation schedulers, you can build it on AppSheet. To learn more about how you can use AppSheet and Google Workspace in education, click on the links below.
Wow, that's really timely that video came out when it did. I have not seen that until just now.
Yeah, it came out like literally, I think 2 weeks ago. Like,
As we were
so,
planning this,
yeah,
they made the video.
Austin came in and was like, DeAnna, have you seen the video? And I was like, I didn't know we made a video. And we didn't.
We didn't have to. We just waited for
No.
someone else to do it.
For sure. Guys, to explain, we are AppSheet Training. Our company is called Crew, but we are the lead trainers of AppSheet for the Google Workspace. And so we build all of the trainings. They recommend us as the trainers, which is super sweet. A lot of you had some pretty awesome responses, which I'm excited about. So I do want to say, Austin and I are presenting today because we know what you deal with on the day-to-day basis. I've been a math teacher, a ed tech person in the school district, as well as administrator. And then Austin has done the AB unit and several things with special ed. And so as we present today, I want you to know that we, very much so understand where you're at, and also understand that you really need a break after probably this webinar. So I want to take a moment to say thank you for all that you do for education. I also want to preface that in this, it will probably leave you having several questions. And so one of the things Austin did not say is that his job is to meet with anyone and everyone to decide, is AppSheet right for you? What training would be best for you? All of that. And so we will be offering free tech talks with Austin after this, so that you can schedule a time with him to say, I'd like to create this. Is it possible? Or what trainings could I attend? So without any more, here we go. Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready because
right.
I know I've talked through this scenario with Austin. We had the discussion, in what ways is AppSheet applicable to education? That's how our discussion really started. And Austin just talked through this scenario, and I thought, exactly, this is exactly how a teacher would use this tool to make his or her life so much easier. So Austin, I'll turn it over to you. Screen share whenever you're ready.
Cool.
Let me know what I can do to help.
Okay. For now, we'll just stick to the slides.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Like Amy and DeAnna was saying, I used to be a special education teacher, specifically in the AB unit. One of the things that I had to do at the end of each day was input data, specifically student behavior data. And so I was like a case manager for multiple students. And then each of these students went to go see a general education teacher. So the reports got a bit overwhelming, and there was just like a lot of data to collect and to organize. And so this process at times could take me 30 minutes to an hour to complete it at the end of each day. And so that was the current process. And then when I started working here at Crew, I learned about AppSheet, and I was like blown away because I used Google Sheets to collect all my data plus Google Forms. And with AppSheet, you can turn a Google Sheet right into an app really quickly. And so I took this new knowledge that I had, and I figured out a way to create the process inside of AppSheet instead of having to keep track of paper copies and do data visualizations and other applications. So I created this process with AppSheet to where teachers will get dynamic emails sent to them. They can fill out the report straight from their Gmail inbox, and then it loads the data back into AppSheet, and you can see the data visualization really quickly and easily, all within one space.
Austin, are you going to be able to actually show us what this looks like in AppSheet too?
Yeah. So the next slide is the AppSheet solution, or the key features. So this is what the app looks like. And then on the right is the dynamic email. And then I'll show you guys a quick run through. I'll share my screen now for what this app looks like and kind of the workflow that a teacher could use. All right, can y'all see my screen?
Yes, looks great.
Sweet. Okay, so right here, this is like the main view, and this is the teacher's view. So like as a case manager, I would be the special education teacher. And then if I wanted to send DeAnna the English teacher dynamic email. I just have to click this one button right here, and then that will send her a dynamic email. Can y'all see this screen too?
Yep,
Okay,
looks
sweet.
great.
And then it loads directly into her inbox. And then this is her goal tracker for the day. And so she can select what 9 weeks she's in, and then select her student. And then she can quickly adjust the student's goals here. If everything's good, then all she has to do is click submit. And then inside of AppSheet, let me go back to.
It really looks fancy inside that email
Yeah.
too. Is that hard to
Yeah.
do to make it look like that?
I'll walk through that too.
Okay.
It's a couple clicks. The automation part takes a little bit of extra steps, but it's super quick to walk through that process after going through some trainings. All right, and then the student goals are loaded here. So this is the one that we just updated. Let's refresh the app, and then there it is. So
wow.
on
So that's the
12/14.
data that you just put in via email. Is that right?
That's right.
Wow.
Yeah, and then you can select what 9 weeks you're in, and then the goal tracker view shows, excuse me, shows us the like visualization of that data. And so you can select what student, okay, they're doing good. This goal number 2 needs some improvement, or goal 3 is good. And then you can select the second 9 weeks and see what reports are there as well. So everything, excuse me, everything's in one spot, and it's super quick to go back to and just collect all your data in one spot instead of having to track Google Forms, different paper forms throughout the day. Students could lose them. So just keeps everything in one nice spot. So, all right. And then, so how I did this is I started with like a report form. And so this is what the back end of the app looks like. So this is all of our data. So like goal 1, goal 2, and goal 3. And then we have a couple of parent tables over here. And so we have the teacher's email. The students are have a unique ID, and then the report period. So this is just how we like create the different behaviors inside of AppSheet with our Google Sheets data. And then moving over to the app editor, you have your data tab, like the guy was explaining in the video. This is where you can set up your column types. And then the cool thing about AppSheet is it gives you like a little view of your app as you're creating it, and it'll update as you're making changes to it. So you can see.
So if you mess something up, you'll know immediately.
Yeah,
because
yeah,
it gives you gonna mess everything up over there on the side,
yeah.
huh?
It'll give you a little error like, oh, you shouldn't have done that. And
so
then,
Austin, Carlos wants to know, does this work with databases like, I don't know how to say what he's typed there, but I see SQL on the end of it.
Yes. Yeah. AppSheet integrates with, I guess, leading industry standard databases. So SQL, Amazon Web Services.
Google Cloud, obviously.
Yes, Google Cloud. Yeah. So, and then Microsoft products as well.
Great.
Oh, sweet. And so then next we have like our UX tab, and this shows you the different views that you're creating. And so this is where you can like customize the view. So this would be the goal tracker view, and this is like a dashboard view, and you just have different, this is a view within a view. So you can like add multiple views. That's how I created this last view right here, where you can switch between different students and see their different goals.
Now, Austin, are you going to be able to give people, is there any way like somebody can actually grab what you have made here so that we could kind of play around with this and look at this after this webinar is over?
Yeah, so I have like a little handout afterwards, and it has instructions on how to download the app and copy it. And so you can customize it for your use case.
That's really awesome. So you guys will be getting an email after this webinar is over, and you'll have some links in there that you can use to play around with exactly what you're looking at right now. I think that's going to be super helpful for people getting started.
Yeah. And then we have the behavior tab. And so this is where you set up that email automation. So it's triggering the teacher email column and sorry, the email trigger in one of the tables in the Google Sheets data. And then, so that's setting up this action button right here. So whenever somebody clicks this, it sends a dynamic email to that teacher. And then this is the dynamic email. And you basically just select add a new bot, customize the bot, and then you'll insert this formula like you would in Google Sheets. And then you select send an email. And then for dynamic emails, the really great thing about this is you can build your view inside of AppSheet and just select the view you want to send. So it's sending a view that you've already made in AppSheet. So super easy to customize because it's all built-in views that you're used to using when you get familiar with the AppSheet editor.
And Austin, by dynamic email, does that mean that you're going to be able to, so if you send me an email, it can say Dear Amy in it instead of just being generic. It can have information that is specific to me within that email. Is that what you mean by that?
Yeah, and also even more so than that is it's linked back to the app so you can interact with the app inside of your Gmail account. So instead of
That's really amazing.
having to go back to the app editor, you can select the form. You can interact with the form right inside of Gmail.
Very cool. So
Yeah.
if I'm the person in charge of collecting this information on my special education students and maybe their behavior intervention plan and their other classes, that the teachers who are contributing that information don't even have to leave email to do what I need them to do.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
And that was kind of the goal when I started making the app is you just have an email and fill it out right there. And then it's specific to your students on your case manager list. So.
Wow, that's amazing. Amazing.
Mhm.
Well, this is super cool. I would like to know from the folks in the chat, is this something that you think you can use in your school district? And John wants to know, can you do e-sign? And I assume he means like, is that something that I could accomplish through here if I had to say, let's say I want to distribute special education modifications. Can I create something where a teacher is signing for, receiving those mods via email?
There's definitely signature capabilities with AppSheet. However, they recommend for like confidentiality compliance that you use something like DocuSign if it's used
If it's
for
going to be a
like,
legal document.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But maybe signing to say that I have received something that
Yeah, that
might,
should
I mean,
be.
you just have to decide whether it would be sufficient for your organization. But I mean,
Yeah.
considering that normally my receipt of special education materials was taking them out of my box, this seems like it would be more,
Yeah.
better than
Yeah.
that, I would
Yeah.
think. So,
Mhm.
so if that's what you're
Yeah.
doing now, I would think, yeah, this would be a big step in the right direction.
Yeah, for sure.
Great.
Exactly.
Very cool. Well, I just can't think of any school that couldn't use this product in some kind of way. And I think we're going to move on now and show you even a different way to use AppSheet. But I think DeAnna might have a question for you first.
I do for sure. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, you're quiet, but we can hear you.
Oh, let me do this. My camera keeps dying. The guys have put me in a fancy studio today and I don't know how to work it. So
all the fanciness in the world does not help if you don't know how to work it, does it?
That's a very valid point. I just want to real quick take just a minute to hear in 5 words or less, what are your thoughts on this app specifically and how it could maybe be used with your school?
And by this app, DeAnna, you mean this particular special education tracking kind of instance example that Austin has shown us that everybody's going to be able to get access to after this webinar?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. So is this something that you think you could use in your school district? Are you already doing something like this that's causing people headaches? We may not be talking to the people with the headaches, which could be our disconnect. but I bet there's somebody in your school district that has this headache. So if you want to contribute, let us know what you think.
Pop it into that chat for us.
100% a headache, Misty says. We use
Yeah.
Google Forms, 100% causes a headache. It sounds like it's her headache too. It's not
Yeah.
somebody else's. Like it feels different when another person has a headache versus when you yourself have the headache. Yes, Carmen says we could use this in our special education department. Awesome.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to
Yes.
keep us going. I'm going to show us a different app. Yeah, with an ed tech spin. So I used to work as, what I met Amy as back in the day, but I worked to train our teachers in technology integration in the classroom. So I'd work with teams, individuals, grade levels, and schools as a whole. But one of my other duties as assigned, y'all know that's a famous line in education.
It's in every job description I ever had
Oh,
in my whole
man.
life.
It tears me up, was to take inventory of all of the tech devices within the school and then be able to tell a principal or a district, hey, we need to purchase more of this, which is also a really funny instance to pretend that we had money to purchase anything.
Right. Why does it matter if we're not actually going to buy anything?
Preach. But what I would have to do is enter the text-based things, so serial numbers, barcodes, all of that onto a Google form. And then I would have to use my cell phone to take pictures of barcodes or of damaged material. So if an iPad was broken, I had to take pictures to say, hey, it's broken and here's the proof. And then I would have to combine the data from the form and the pictures from the cell into a Google Sheet and then generate reports for two different people, the campus admin and then the district personnel. And all of that for one school, but then multiply that times 4, which was my responsibility. And it was just like, it was wild how much time it took. And I had to do it in the midst of everything else. And I'm sure all of you understand that without it being said. So,
right. No, you mean your regular job did not stop so that you could do inventory?
Yeah, no, it did not.
Right.
So I was hired here at Crew in August and started to learn about AppSheet. I have a degree in curriculum, and so I was just writing curriculum. But then I started to take note of what I was writing, and I was like, man, this thing is incredible. So Amy, if you want to pop over to that next slide, I started drawing out on my iPad what an app screen would look like if I created an app in AppSheet to solve this problem. So that first little picture that you see that says audits on it is a fall 21 inventory and then a spring 21 inventory. And then the next one you see, audit inventory item, I can literally go in, take a picture of the barcode or scan it. So AppSheet will scan any barcode or QR code or anything and pop that number in. Serial number, same story. I can then choose which item I'm taking inventory of and then display. If you'll go back for me real quick.
I want to really bad.
Oh, yeah, you're doing great things over there. I can say status. I can say if it needs to be replaced or not. I can give a signature if I want, all of that. But then even better, a report is automatically generated, which is the thing you see on that right side, showing a picture saying it needs to be replaced, why it needs to be replaced, what its serial number is, and what room it's located in under what school. And all of that is done from my phone or tablet or wherever, and then sent to the people it needs to be sent to just from a few button clicks.
So DeAnna, I have a question. It's a legit question.
All
so
right.
when you say it's done from your phone, you mean I could actually take out my phone and I would be able through my app that I've created to activate the camera on my phone and take this picture or scan right through the app that I created on my phone?
Absolutely.
Using my phone. Wow.
Yeah. So all from one device, all in one screen panel, I can do everything that I used to have to do in 3 different places.
Wow, that's amazing. So just estimating, how much time do you think this would save? So let's say you go into a typical classroom and your old way, you spent how long in that classroom versus how long do you think this would take you?
Took me about 15 to 20 minutes per classroom. Some schools have 60 different rooms I have to go through. as well as like computer labs where I had to take pictures of each of the devices or key in the codes. So I was down on the floor doing all that. So I would say this cuts off about a week's worth of work by
Wow,
getting to just enter it all from one device.
that's amazing. So that time
Yep.
in that classroom from 15 minutes to 3 minutes, 5 minutes, you think?
Yeah, 3 to 5 minutes all in one, because I'm not having to do anything on the back end. I'm getting to put
Right.
it all in and it's generating the reports for me. I'm not having to think about it. I'm not having to reorganize or remember what room was where and what
Or
it
pull
had.
things together from different sources later on when
Yeah.
you've utterly forgotten what it was you actually saw.
For sure. All of
Yeah.
it's done in one spot.
So it's probably a lot more accurate also.
I would say so. If you're depending on me to remember 4 different schools, I don't know that you'd
Mhm.
want to.
If you're depending on me to remember a barcode from the time I look at it to the time I type it in and to actually get it correct, you would not be happy with my success rate, I do
Yeah,
not think.
for sure. Well, if you want to
Yes,
pop over to that next screen,
will do.
I got to tell you, these are my favorite things. So that barcode scanner, I mean, we literally were walking around the office, like taking pictures of literally every barcode we saw, and it worked every single time. QR code's the same. I didn't have to change a setting. I just got to take a picture. It picked it up, it popped it in, I was done. Pictures are fantastic. The other thing with AppSheet is you can actually annotate on top of those pictures if you needed to. Also fantastic. The autofill. So in a room, I may have, like if I'm doing the computer lab, I may have 20 different CPUs that I've got to take a picture of. It'll autofill what school, what room number, all of that for me. So I can just go on to the next device, not have to re-enter all of that. And then generating reports, that it's incredible. Like you saw with Austin, the dynamic emails. Then for me, I'm going to show y'all actually what the reports look like in a minute. But the ability to have this app send an email to campus principals immediately, they're not having to wait on me. They're not having to differentiate between what I entered and what's actually present. If there were any mistakes made, all of it's done. It's the moment I do the pictures. So it's really incredible. So without further ado, I think I'm going to share an app with you, if that's all right, Amy.
Yeah, I really want to see what this looks like on your side, as you're actually like building in the app builder portion of this.
All right, let me click the right buttons. Can we see my app right now?
Yes, it looks great.
Oh, perfect. All right. So you see that fall 21, and then you see spring 21 and that it's complete. So this tells me I'm at 45%. I can click within it. I've chosen randomly named schools. And it says, hey, at Harvest Elementary, I got 3 more classrooms to do. At Moses, I got 3 more classrooms. At Prairie, I got 2. So I can click within that room. Immediately, I'm going to auto generate these barcodes and serial numbers for us today, but I can click. I can then say, hey, I'm dealing with a iPad and I want you to look at this notes part right here. So I can hit repair. And as soon as I go to type, it changes.
Oh, look at
field.
that. I saw it.
And it says, hey, what needs to be repaired? Or watch this one, watch how it changes. So I hit replace. Why does this need to be replaced?
Nice.
So it's going to change what it's asking, and then it's going to generate that in the report.
Oh, DeAnna. So could I on my phone, so I'm in my end user situation, I'm really looking at this on my phone. Could I use the little microphone on my phone and could I voice type that in there? Why does this need to be repaired? Because it is completely and utterly broken and it is also 10 years old.
Hey, Cameron, can we do that?
I'll tell you, you can.
Well, I'm going to get back to you at a later date. I don't know.
You can do that. It's a feature on your phone. And so it's gonna let you type
perfect.
right in that.
Yeah, it just uses your phone's keyboard. So if your phone's keyboard allows voice to text, then totally. So any Android, any iOS phone will be able to do that just fine.
What kind of other phone? I don't know what other kind of phone people have. If you have one of those old people like Cricket phones, that probably is not going to work for you. But you're also probably not doing inventory on technology on a school campus. So I think it's going to work for you. Yeah.
Yeah. Any app, any phone within the past Any phone, tablet, computer in the past like 5 years, 6 years should work great for AppSheet. So, yeah,
Perfect. Thank you, Cameron.
for
All
sure.
right. So the other thing to note is if I choose good, these notes and image fields are not required. But if I choose anything but good, I have to fill these out, which is super helpful because again, we don't want to have to go back to a room and say, oh, why did I choose needs
Right.
to be
God, I
replaced?
can't
Like,
remember why I put that. Yeah.
yeah, because let's be real, every computer in most schools is old.
Right.
So I need to make sure that I can stand by what I'm claiming in that inventory. And so AppSheet can require those fields. Also, you can enter, once I enter one image, it's going to ask me if I want to enter another and another and another. So however many I need to enter are available for me. And then you'll see this goes under this audit. It's under this school. It's under this room. And so all of that can be done right here. Once I hit good and save, it's going to prompt me, hey, do you want to add another item to this room? Sure. And then here I am again, same thing, but you notice at the bottom, it's auto-filled all of the pieces that I need.
So DeAnna, did you make this yourself, this app?
I'm going to show you this report and then I'm going to answer that question for you,
Okay.
Amy.
All right.
But I do want to show you. So I told you that it would generate a report for campus admin or district. So if I pop over to my email, this is the report. So it says, hey, this spring 21 is complete. I started it on this date. I have 6 items needing attention. So I can scroll down and I can see,
Ooh,
okay,
it looks so
Moses,
fancy.
yeah, Moses, I have this CPU that needs some attention. I need this webcam is broken. It needs to be replaced. I have a description of why. I can go down here. I have this iPad that looks like a chip bag that needs needs some help. You know, it needs a light bulb. But I go through and I see the school and I see the items needing attention. That's our friend Justin there acting like we're not taking pictures of him. And then I see a list of all items as well. So I see all of that all at the same report and I can send it on.
That is so great. And it just came right into the way that you programmed this was just to come right into email.
Yes. And it came right to my email because we were still testing it. So, but now to answer your question, Amy, if you want to bounce us back to the slides, I'll stop share.
Okay.
So I told y'all that my job here at Crew was to develop the curriculum. And so as you know, if any of you are curriculum designers, we don't always fully know the content, but we, you know, are skilled in designing it. So we meet with our content experts and then go from there. So I did not build this app myself in AppSheet, but I do have to say that I could have. If I had sat there and dug in, it is very possible. And that's the thing about AppSheet is it truly is a no code development. So like you saw a little bit of code with Austin for that teacher and computed name, but those are like pre-given that you can choose an AppSheet. And also in our trainings, we walk you through when to use what, how to use what things entered cause what actions to be done. So the beauty is that I actually took my iPad, I drew out what I wanted. I walked through the process of what I did on a daily basis in that inventory. And then I took it to my friend Stefan, who owns the company. And I said, hey, Stefan, this is the app I want. Within a day, and I mean, maybe even 3 hours, he had an app completed from what was on my iPad to finished. In fact, I would say about an hour after I gave it to him, we were walking into Austin's office saying, hey, Austin, look at the app. So AppSheet truly is something you can approach. It is not something that you could probably go home and build an app today on your own without any training. But it is something that people do 2 of our trainings and they walk away and they're building apps for their businesses all day long. Austin has worked here since I think June. And he has been building, I mean, man, I'd say upwards of 6 to 10 apps so far, just since his time here in June. One that I use daily with him to do all of our marketing. So the possibilities with AppSheet are endless, but also the skill required. Like you don't have to be a computer science guy. You don't have to be the the head tech person in a district having to balance everything else and AppSheet. Like one person sitting through some trainings could do incredible things in a school district. And that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, that is really truly amazing. I mean, I guess I have not known this was possible until I met you guys and you started telling me about this. Since you went to Crew, which was just a few months ago, I did not know that this was possible.
Right.
Yeah, pretty amazing. Well, do you guys have any other questions do you want to put in the chat now? If not, we're going to start answering the questions that you haven't thought of yet, because they thought of all of the questions that you should ask, but you might not think of yet. So if you have stuff to add or other questions, please throw them in there. Hopefully we've got them all addressed in the slides, but if we don't, then we'll be able to get back to you later. All right, so I know I ask a lot of questions about this. What is the price really going to be for education? Because normally, people will not spend money on things inside education. And so it was a little concerning to me, like if this is going to cost a lot of money, people are not going to be able to do it.
Yeah.
So what do you guys say to that? What do you say to that, Austin?
So for AppSheet pricing, it's free to prototype apps, and you can build as many apps as you want, and then you can test them on up to 10 users. And so this comes with your Google Workspace account. So if you want to kind of test the waters with what you can do with AppSheet and what you can build, and they have lots of templates that you can go through. And that's how I get started on most of my app builds, is I'll look through some of their templates and see, oh, this app design is applicable to what I want to design. And so I'll take bits and pieces from their app designs. And as I'm doing that, I'm also learning new features of AppSheet. So yeah, it's free to get started with AppSheet. If you want to deploy your apps, you move up to the basic features, and that's $5. And that would be your starter app. Let's see, Cameron, is it okay? It's $5 per user. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
And when we say users, y'all, we're talking about people who are actually inputting data into the app. So in DeAnna's scenario, if she makes the app and puts the information in, that's one user. And in your scenario, Austin, there were 3 teachers, so there would be 3 users in that scenario. So it really depends on how many people are going to be actually inputting data with the app. That's how you're measuring user. Am I right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. And then it goes up from there. For the core package is $10.
And so Carlos asked a good question.
Yeah.
So if he has 200 users, is that really going to cost his organization $10 per user, or is he going to be able to talk to someone and get a bigger plan for that?
Yeah, so you might want to contact the AppSheet sales team, and then they can set you up. You might already have access to it if you're in Google Workspace. And so it might be a part of your Google Workspace plan already. But contacting the AppSheet sales team would definitely help figure out all the pricing stuff for your AppSheet plan.
Yeah, and I think that's what you want to think through before you make that contact, is just what is it that you want to create and how many people are going to be interacting with it. We're not talking about the kids in Austin's scenario. Those kids don't count as users because they're not interacting with it. It's only the number of teachers.
Exactly. Yeah. Just who's going to be inputting the data.
Exactly. So this is a way to distribute input of data. So Austin, if they want to talk to you more about this and they want to say, hey, this is the problem I'm trying to solve, and can AppSheet do this, or how would I potentially get started, or can you recommend a template that I could start with? Are those all things that they would be able to contact you about?
Yeah. So if you want to schedule a free tech talk with me, we can build out a use case for you. And we'll talk through all the app features that you want, the functionality requirements, and what you want your app to look like. And we'll build that use case doc out together, and it'll take about 15 minutes. And then you'll receive a follow-up email with that use case doc, and then how to get started with your learning journey in AppSheet, and how we can help you build that app out either on your own after taking our trainings or through some consulting services.
Yeah, that's really
Mhm.
exciting. So if you're a person who has already got some technical skill and you just want help getting started, you may be able to proceed
Mhm.
from that point.
Yeah.
Or you may need a little bit more education, which is what my friends at Crew do. So kind of like
Yeah.
we at Fried Technology provide education, this is what they do. We're
Mhm.
providing it on Workspace. They're providing it on AppSheets. So just to help you fully understand their role in this and what they have to offer you when you find your next situation where you're like, I have to solve this problem, because it's going to happen now. Don't you guys think? Oops, you're muted, DeAnna.
Yep, I was testing you. Yeah, for sure. And
I
I
feel
don't,
so
you know,
successful.
time costs money. And so I sit here and think, like, if I'm paying $5 for a license and I can make 100 apps or use 100 apps within that, then, you know, how much money could I save my teachers in time?
Yeah.
So
Exactly. Well, and let's hope that if you do get into this and this becomes like your thing or whatever,
Mhm.
I mean, there are a lot of school districts that are looking for people who know how to do things like this. So I
Yeah.
think this is such a valuable skill set for people to be developing. And another thing we haven't mentioned yet, do you guys see a way for students to actually use AppSheet to learn about coding and app development?
oh, for
Yeah.
sure. All of the tech courses that are wanting students to know coding and no code, that, man, an open door.
Mhm.
Like, and even like, you know, as an ed tech person, I had to design a curriculum for those computer classes for middle schoolers. And if I had known about AppSheet, like, it would have been a free thing for me to use for students to learn it. Instead of paying like so much money for all of the different resources that you have to plug and drop to get to. Um, so the potential is definitely there
Yeah, and
for,
being able to make something that's useful to someone, and the process of, as a future coder, to find a problem and understand how technology helps solve problems. I mean, I just
right,
love that whole scenario of what that could be like inside a school.
right.
Well, do you guys have any final questions for us? We are ready to answer you. It looks like Cameron's just like, he's so on it over there. You guys don't need us, but that's okay. That's very good. Thanks, Cameron.
Mhm.
So we've been kind of having another side chat while you guys were talking in there. We're recording this webinar today, and I think our friends at Crew are going to make it accessible to you guys later. Again, you'll be getting a follow-up email from them, and they'll be able to share this recording with you, right?
Yeah,
Did I
you
read
will
all that right?
also, yeah, and you will also receive a couple of PDFs, one with the template apps that we showed you today, so that you can actually take and run with them. It'll have instructions on how you can copy it to your free AppSheet account so that you can walk through them, play with them, break them if you want to, and fix them again. So all of that is there within this PDF that you'll be getting. So all of that will be coming to you in an email, and we look forward to talking with you. Here's a list of all the training offers that we have. But I would, number one, recommend that you do a tech talk with Austin to find out more information. And he can tell you what path to go on or what we would recommend, as well as just more, you know, answering personal questions about what you're hoping you can accomplish. So yeah, Austin, you got anything, bud?
I think that's it.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today, and all of you guys who are here from all over the world. That's so exciting to see your names pop up and see
Mhm.
where you're from all over the place, and to think that hopefully, you know, fingers crossed, we could end up maybe helping you solve some problems that you've got, and making your life as an educator easier. Just makes us all feel really, really happy. So thanks guys for being here, and you have our information, or you will have through email, and just keep in touch.
Find out how you can help your team create these same solutions. Visit appsheettraining.com and sign up for a free tech talk. Thanks.